Good morning.
We are.
Back at more mulch, guys.
Yeah.
You think we can get another 12 yards moved today?
Yeah, hopefully, right?
I have the big bed spaded out. The hardest part of this whole project, I'm finding out, is getting the grass clumps and break it, because I'm trying not to bring a lot back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So trying to break it up and separate it and clean out the beds. That to me is the hard, because you got to use your hands a lot.
Yeah, and it's just, this is definitely very physical. This is much more physical than, being on a mower.
Yeah, definitely.
I still think being on a mower is physical. You're still changing your body and stuff. But then this is just definitely like, I'm definitely... What
you
did
feel
I
like
say?
jelly. You feel like jelly after yesterday.
I do feel like jelly.
Just up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you're down in there cleaning the beds out, and even all the mulch I put down for her and she's spreading it, it's still, I mean, that's up and down. You're spreading.
Well, and a lot of times, like, straddling and, like, using muscles I didn't even know I had.
Yeah, to move mulch. But I was telling Rachel, so far, unless she throws another project in that's big, this mulch job and the wall project will be our hardest ones in the foreseeable future. We have a bunch of...
Yeah.
I mean, when you have
You never know.
When you have 15 yards after you've done 75, that's easy.
It's like,
it's like
piece of cake.
easy peasy. Now, my ambition was to get done this weekend, but we're going to get rain all day Sunday. It's been rain. We didn't get late starts for a couple times this week because of rain. So Rachel had a good idea. While she's schooling, I'll come over here in the morning for like 3 hours, spade more beds and get that prepped. And then we're going to go back up to the wall project in the afternoon so she can help do that.
Yeah. Right now it's just projects and lime and fertilizer. So, those are our goals right now. We're not worried about mowing. The grass is starting to grow, but we're going to let it grow.
Yeah.
So
more realistic, we'll have this project definitely buttoned up by Friday. By the end of this upcoming week.
Yeah.
Today's Saturday.
Yeah.
So, and that's, well, when we did this mulch job before, we didn't do quite as much as we're doing now. We only did parts, and we did it over like a month period of time, but we're shooting for a week this time.
Yeah.
So, and I think we can do it.
Yeah. I was really trying to find a tractor or something, but that's all right.
I'm saving the boss money, and I feel like Rachel said, you feel like jelly after moving all that stuff. But I'll be honest with you again, guys. When I shoveled the ramp for the kids when we had the snowstorm, my lower back hurt for a week. And
that was crazy.
Like, it hurt. And doing this, it doesn't. You got to use your legs when you're doing this.
Yeah.
And I have a method
with your legs.
What I do is the lower part of the hill, once I dig out the top, I get right now I'll show you, I'm getting the lower part, and then once I do all that, I can back the truck up and then just stand on the pile and throw it in.
Yeah, it's much easier, right?
So Rachel's gonna go spread some mulch. Okay. I'm gonna load up some mulch, and then I'm gonna clean the bed out so she's quick spreading, so she's catching up to me.
All right.
So let's go.
Okay.
Rachel's gonna start up there cleaning up around the cherry trees. I am gonna start loading some of this in here and then take it over to the other beds. Okay, guys, I think that's about 2.5 yards in there. Usually 1.5 fills it to the top, so maybe 2 yards each load, 2.5. But that whole first pile is just about gone. So we're gonna go put this out and get going. Okay guys, we're just about done our first break. Not done our first break, starting it. First round before we go take a break. So, boss is over here doing this, so I'm gonna show you something. Hey boss,
Yeah.
when we do mulch, this is what you're supposed to do, right?
No, that is not what you're supposed to do.
You see guys, a lot of people will mound up the mulch on a tree like that. That is the number one thing you don't want to do. And if you see old mulch on a tree like that, please take it off. You will save the tree.
So, if you guys look, there is a crown of the tree.
Which I ended up digging deeper than, it was all the way up here, the mulch was,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You can see where we took out a lot of this crown here. And this is another tip for the day.
Yeah.
For any new guys or even any old guys who have been doing it that way. Not to knock you, but just to let you know, this is a lot healthier for the tree in the long run.
Mulch is so beneficial for the tree. Like, see these roots right here? You know, it will keep the roots nice and moist.
And warm during colder times.
But you don't want it sitting up on the tree.
And there is a thing is putting way too much mulch in beds. Like if you put a lot and make it really thick. We like to stay around 2-3 inches.
But you see how you kind of just do it where it's a nice little, you have a little hump still, but
there's like kind of like it's lower and shallower in here.
The other thing I want to mention is you guys see this green stuff that is on this tree. It's called lichens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is, what is it, Carl? Do you remember? It's a
fungus?
It is some type of fungus, but it's an actual living fungus, and actually, it does actually say that it's a healthy environment around here. Because the lichens would not grow if it wasn't a good, healthy environment. So, you know, obviously you don't want it to take over your tree, but it's not going to kill the tree.
Yeah, this tree's been, I think it's more important to have your tree rings ringed out and make sure there's not too much mulch on the crown. So Rachel's going to mess with that one. My phone's dying. I'm going to load this in and then we're going to go take a break. But we're making good progress. One pile pretty much gone. I got this spaded out while you guys seen in the background. Rachel was doing the rest of this. So when we come back, she can mess around with whatever and we'll get more spaded and mulched. But we got to take this back. And I'm putting this in the compost pile. Bigger pieces I'm putting where we have bare dirt for sod. But most of it I'm putting in a compost pile. I'm going to mix it with the shredded leaves I have. And then we are going to eventually taking all this stuff with us when we move. That's why you're going to have to buy me a bobcat. Well, guys, our plan was to come here and do more mulch. Our plan was to come here and do more mulch, but we have a bunch of rain coming, so instead of loading the truck, we're just going to clean the beds out, throw it in the back of the truck, and then call it a day probably when it starts raining. So I'm going to get this done right now. Okay guys, Rachel's blowing off. So Rachel's blowing off, and guys, when you guys have sidewalks, try your best. I'm gonna have to carve that hill out so it's not as much as steep as it is. You see the cliff there. The mulch and dirt was all the way down into here, all the way over to here, 5 or 6 inches, all the way up this step. So I spade it all out and move it out of the way. I mean, you don't want it coming. I mean, the sidewalk's there for a reason. So if you have 4 foot of mulch coming, or a foot of mulch coming into the sidewalk, it takes away from it. So we got this spaded out. Not bad, right? We didn't get wet. And this thing used to go straight to the sidewalk, and then there'd be a little kind of weird grass there. So I figured that'd be easier to mow by making it like that.
Also go over spading with boxes. You know, you need to be very careful.
Oh yeah. I was really gentle on the first push on this. And just did a light spade, and then you can go back over it a little heavier. Just don't go slamming your shovel down into the ground whenever there's boxes. See, there's a lot of wires there.
If it's the first time you're doing it, you really should probably call 811 to
Yeah.
get it marked.
If you're going that deep, yeah.
Yeah, we knew, like, actually the flags are still there.
Mm-hmm.
So we knew that it was going in there. So
Hey, boss. Boss.
Oh, do you want to get the cherry?
Look how nice these cherry trees and the rings look.
They're going to be so much better to mow around.
And the crazy thing, they could be thinned out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I took any crossing away, and he was happy.
Yeah.
So they do look really nice. So our accomplishment, I'll have to let you guys know exactly how many hours we were on here so far. We don't work a full 8-9 hours a day. I mean, we take breaks in between and go at 2-hour spurts usually.
It's cold.
Yeah.
And we also have
now when we're mowing, we do mow all our lawns. But so we ended up getting all this bed done. Look, the grass needs to be cut already. It starts to look shaggy, and then your edges don't look as good. So we got this bed done, the whole horseshoe bed done. Really nice. You did a good job spreading it, boss. The 2 cherry trees done, almost 1 whole pile of mulch gone, and this spaded out. So we'll see how.
stay in the truck, right?
Yeah. So we'll see how long that took us. Yeah, I'll throw these shovels on top, and then, like you said, Monday we have to go do some soil somewhere, and we have to do some lime and stuff, a couple little things, and then we'll be back here more than likely Tuesday morning. I'll come back, spade more until I get to a certain point, and then we're going to be back and forth here in the wall project. So let me help the boss, and then we will do an ending on this one. So we are done for the day.
We are done for the day.
And we got some amazing pizza.
Oh man, well now you're going to have to show them.
From the Amazing Pizza Company.
It is, this is like our biggest splurge, but we love this pizza.
And it's Jared's birthday tomorrow,
Yeah.
so we decided to get a dinner for birthday.
So we have a birthday boy. So we get the white pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this one has added mushrooms. You want to take a peek real quick?
Yeah, take a peek.
Ooh, look how pretty.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. So, ooh,
Oh, it steamed up the window.
That's what I told Carl on the way home. I was like, oh man, now I'm actually warm.
And we don't remember them being that big. That's a big pizza.
I think that they might be a little bit bigger now.
Oh.
Because they did actually just up the price, and I noticed that it used to be a couple dollars cheaper. But then when Carl got in the truck, I was like, wait a minute, they might be a little bigger now too. So
yeah.
But that's all right. I mean, they usually have lunch for the next day too, which is nice. And his birthday's not until tomorrow, realistically, but we figured I'm home tomorrow so I can cook his birthday dinner.
Yeah.
This way, you know, he got to choose his birthday dinner.
And we need to fill up on some carbs after doing all that mulch. I think we did today we didn't do as much as we wanted because it looked like it was going to rain. It didn't.
I know.
So we ordered the pizza, so we had to be done at a certain time.
But we got that bed cleaned out, so we really wouldn't have been able to put mulch anyway, and that it had too much cleanup that we had to do. And I don't know if that bed was ever cleaned out last year.
I need to get ahead on bed edging anyway because the boss like catches up to me. So
yeah, well, and the beds are smaller now too, so
easier.
Yeah, you know, the hardest thing with the bigger beds is that trying to like gauge the right amount of mulch that you need, and then it gets really hard, especially for me because I'm short, to like reach the top of the bed and like pull it down and sideways.
And somebody will say, well, why don't you just get a rake, boss?
I know, because it's just not the same.
Yeah, it isn't the same.
You can feel it. Even though I'm wearing gloves, I can still feel it. And when you do it with your hands, you can kind of feather it in. And
then if you're mulching and you happen to down there and with your hands find a weed or a piece of grass that you missed,
which
you can pull it out.
Yeah,
a little more detailed.
Even like clumps of mulch that maybe need to be broken up, or clay that needs to be broken up, but yeah, we just prefer to be down there.
Nothing against you guys that do raking it in.
That's to
each his own.
Yeah, everybody has you know, something that they like better or that works better for them, or you know, like even we said we just like the cheap throwaway tarps, and you know, people came back and said, no, well, we like these. And yeah, we understand that. You know, we have a couple good tarps, like that big bag thing that we like. But we like the throwaway tarps.
And they're good too because they get holes in them, and then I can put them in the back of the truck, pile the trash up because we got to go to the dump. And then when I get to the dump, the tarp's ripped up. I just pull everything off at once, and there goes the tarp and all the trash. You
know, you don't feel so bad throwing away a ripped up $5 tarp versus like you have a tarp that you paid $75 for. You're like hoping that tarp never rips.
Gets a hole in it, right, guys? So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. We're going to go in the house, get cleaned up, and eat our pizza. Yeah. And you guys have a nice night.
Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
And don't forget to be happy.
Or at least try. Have a good night.